All right, we got the working class hustler family. My producer Jim is in the house. I got my sidekick, hey Karen, and Mike is out here. Hey Mike, I don't know if I mentioned to you, because tomorrow is Easter. We're not going to be going live together in the private group. So if you need to get at me because there was something that was pressing that you wanted to get on right away, no problem. Just hit me up. Matter of fact, let me make sure I turn my phone on. If there was something pressing you wanted to talk about right away, and you were really looking forward to tomorrow, as soon as we're done with this live, and this shouldn't take too long, I just want to go over some stuff. You can text me and see if you want to hop on a call real quick. Who we got here? Queen Goddess, aka Black Betty. All right. Thanks for coming out. All right, hustlers. So, first of all, in this video, I'm going to be talking about how I process orders merchant fulfilled. And so I want to give a shout out to one of the working class hustlers, Trey. He is the one who requested this video. Trey, I want to say thank you so much. This is what I need. I need people to actually reach out and tell me what they want to know. That means a lot. So shout out to you, and anything else that you need, you continue telling me what you want and I'll continue to produce. And if by chance I didn't cover something in specific that you needed, you got my number, and you can also uh, put a comment, and the working class hustler team will work on it. That goes to everybody out here. A couple other things real quick before we get started. Make sure that if you need me, we can get connected. Text the words working class hustler to the number on your screen, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. It's absolutely free. If we need to hop on a call, be my pleasure. Some of you guys have questions and you just need somebody that's a little bit ahead of you that can help you out. Make sure you sign up for the free Snackfood Symposium. That is a webinar where I talk in depth about how I'm getting to the bag selling snack foods, guys. We're creeping towards the $40,000 a month mark. Matter of fact, if I take a look, yeah. So we're at, I don't know if you can see that with that stupid screen, but 36,770, and that's on a Saturday. So, and also make sure you sign up for the free tactical arbitrage course. That there's a lot of info that's going to be coming out with that. And that's another thing where you can actually let me know what modules you need me to go ahead and create custom to your liking. And because Three Coats is now uh, they have the whole Seller 360 going, that's going to be good as well. So without further ado, let's get into this video. How to ship Amazon FBM or fulfilled by merchants. So the first thing you're going to want to know about it, okay? We're going to talk about what you need to do in order to be able to ship products yourself. And first of all, real quick, without getting off, because you know I'll go off on a tangent. First of all, why would you even want to ship merchant fulfilled? Think about it, guys. It's going to be more work for you. It's going to be more work. So why would you want to do more work? Well, if you follow me, if you follow my principles, then you already know the answer. You want to do more work because that's what everybody else is trying to get away from, right? Warren Buffett said, wherever the crowd is heading, you need to go in the opposite direction. Everybody's looking for easy when easy does not exist. And what I have found that in order to double my revenue, I had to start doing more work. If you want more, you're going to have to become more. You're going to have to do more. That's just the way it is. Some people may disagree. That's okay. I can only speak my truth. I can only talk about what has worked for me. And I can only talk to you about how I went from 10,000 a month, 12,000 a month up to, like I said, we're creeping towards 40,000 a month. That's all I can tell you. And the only thing I can show you is my receipts because we've been creating these videos since 2017. So you can go back and look. That's all I can do. Anybody else that's out here talking about potential and what you could be doing and all of this, and they ain't showing you no receipts, they ain't showing you no tax returns, they ain't showing you the numbers on a consistent basis when they're good and when they're bad. Yeah, you got to watch that. So, in order to do merchant fulfilled, you've got to have the equipment, you've got to have the supplies, and you've got to have the software. So, I know how the working class hustlers are. You guys want to get right to it. So, without further ado, let's show you a quick video clip that I did earlier just to show you the equipment that we deal with. Okay, now let's talk about equipment. Guys, you have to have a scale if you're going to do merchant fulfilled. You have to know how much this stuff is costing. So I have a little 10-pound scale. And then I also have, I think this goes up to like, oh my, that goes up easily 50 pounds or more. And that one has more of your display. If I can get it to come on more like that. And it's not showing up good because of the camera. So you need your scales. You might need a heating gun, especially if you're sourcing from Ollie's like I do occasionally. You can heat up those labels. If you have a shrink wrap machine, which I do, but I don't really use, that's why I didn't talk about that, but you will need a heating gun for that. Don't get me wrong, a blow dryer will work in a pinch, so you don't have to, get that right away. This is my pillow machine right here. This is how I make the shipping pillows. That is important because as you get serious with this business, you're going to be trying to protect the things that you ship. This is another this is a tape dispenser, and this is your craft tape. So that's what this machine is. You'll get into that these are not cheap, but they last forever. And you basically put the water in, it collects here, and then it'll literally, as the tape passes over the brush here, the brush will be wet, and that will activate the adhesive. And then you have that nice brown tape. Sometimes I like to have that. Sometimes I don't. Right now I haven't really been using it. You will need your tape guns. Try to have a few of them because you're going to be reaching around. I use the 3-inch tape. I just find that you cover more area with that. So you'll notice I have a couple of the 3-inch tape guns. I got some 2-inch tape guns as well. Let's see. Well, that's another 3. And as you do the business long enough, you're gonna get into all of that stuff. So here's a 2-incher right there. And let's get up there to the more of the computer type equipment that you need. Okay, so when we start talking about computers, you gotta have a computer to do this, but you guys know that. I use Alienware laptop, that's what I got. Now, to be able to print your postage, you're gonna need the right printer for that. You can use a regular laser printer. It's good to have a laser printer, but eventually you're gonna want a Zebra or a Dymo. Of course, with the Dymo, you can get your Dymo labels. I mostly use my Zebra. And when you get the real big rolls, it helps because the real big rolls aren't gonna fit in there. So then you would run the real big roll off of a little thing like this, and it'll It'll feed in through the back. Um, and yeah, that pretty much covers your equipment that you need. It's not all that difficult, guys. You can get free supplies. I will tell you this: when you get to my level, they're not giving you any more. UPS cut me off because I was just getting too many, and that's gonna happen once your business grows. The same thing is gonna happen with you. So, if anybody had any questions about equipment, let me know. Other than that, we're going to get into the next segment, which is supplies. Uh, Probably nobody had any questions. This is pretty self-explanatory, but a lot of times we forget and we assume that everybody knows how to do this stuff. And I'm always talking about merchant fulfilling. I cannot assume, and we cannot assume that everybody just knows how to do this and knows what all you need. So now we're going to talk about supplies. Okay, hustlers, let's talk about the supplies you're going to need. If you're going to do merchant fulfilled, you got to have boxes, right? So let me give you an example when it comes to boxes. I'm not playing. Now, you guys know I'm shipping well over 1,000 packages a month, and that ain't no cap. That's the reason why you see all these boxes. Now, I get my boxes from a company called Granger. Stay tuned. I'm going to show you how you could literally get free boxes because if you're just starting out, you're not going to have tons of boxes out here, boxes over here, boxes over here, boxes over there. It's like crazy. You will need, depending on if you get into fragile, I do use bubble wrap. Now, this is an older one. It comes like in a big roll. And what I love is it's actually adhesive on one side, but it's not really, really sticky. Like you see how you got that there? And you can literally pull that apart if you need to. But I do ship bottles, and a lot of times I want to wrap the bottle. Okay. Another thing when it comes to supplies, and by the way, this was purchased, as you can see, from a company called Uline. So I do like my little bubble wrap. Now, this is a huge one for me. These are shipping pillows, right? Um, and the way that I do that is with the pillow machine. We'll get into that when we get into the equipment. Um, or depending on how I put this together, maybe we already did equipment. But what else? Oh, you gotta have tape, right? If in the equipment you got the tape gun, you got to have the tape. I get my tape by the case. I get my shipping labels by the case. Um, and that's pretty much it, right? You got the boxes themselves. You've got bubble wrap if you need it. You've got pillows if you need it. You have tape. Um, you've got your labels. And that's pretty much it as far as supplies. If I forgot something, hopefully I'll remember. All right. And that pretty much takes care of the supplies. Like I said, nothing fancy here, guys. Just remember, all you doing is getting ready to do some work. And if there's any questions about supplies, let me know. Karen says clear poly bags are also helpful. You know what? You're absolutely right. I should have showed those because I got a crap ton of those as well. You just never know when you're going to need them. And also, I do ship with the non-transparent, like the white poly bags. I will throw something in a poly bag. I don't do it as often because I'm mostly shipping potato chips, but there are some times where I use those as well. Let's see. So now we're going to talk about the software. So let me let me get to a screen where I can kind of share with you, because now we got to talk about, okay, you know, when it's time to do the work, how do you do it? So basically, you guys already know what this looks like. So this is inside of my seller central account. Um, we got a lot. We got 79 orders we need to ship. And I was literally working on the shipping before I went live. But the point is this, guys, when you when you go in and get ready to process an order, first things first, you can actually process the shipment right in Amazon Seller Central, which is mostly what I do. So as you can see, it'll look like this. And well, let me get my big head out of the way so you can see. You have your options. Okay. Now you're going to have to figure out how to get the package to the respective carrier, but you don't have to use the first three that they suggest. You can go ahead and go into all options, and then you can pick what you want. You know, I typically go with the cheapest option, but not always. Mostly, I'm choosing either USPS Ground Advantage, a lot of times Cubic. They make no difference to me. Why would I pick? Why would I pick Ground Advantage over Cubic? I'm saving 30 cents or whatever that is. It doesn't matter to me. I've never had a problem with it. But most of my shipping, guys, I actually do right in Seller Central. Now, there is another software I've used for years and years. It's called Shipping Easy. It integrates with the Amazon, and it integrates with all the other major selling platforms. But I've gotten away from them lately because Amazon came out with VQ, if I'm pronouncing that right. I absolutely love this program right here. It integrates with Walmart, it integrates with eBay. It's very, very good. And when I'm running into a snag or something inside of Seller Central, I can go right to VQ. And when I say snag, a lot of times, for example, if you can see here, I went with what's called Ground Saver. And with Ground Saver, if when you use Ground Saver in the Seller Central app, then you don't get the packing slip. You can't see it because, but yeah, here it is. You don't get the packing slip on there. And the way I ship is one label goes on the outside of the package, one label goes in the package in case something happens to that label on the outside. They will open the package, and if you have another label for them, they can slap it on and it goes down the road. If you don't, well, and then a packing slip just so that we know what was supposed to go in that package. So that's one of the types of snags that I run into, where if I'm having a problem inside of Seller Central, I could just go in VQ. Uh, let's see. How long did it take you to show a decent profit? Oh boy, that's a great question. Thank you. I am Legend Boxing. Um, we'd have to go back. I mean, we've got well over 500 videos on this channel, and I think when I started back in 2017, I think I was doing maybe 1,500, 2,000 a month. Um, we kind of jumped up around COVID. So around 2020 is when I first went over 20,000, but then it went back down. After COVID, I dropped down and I stayed usually between 10 and 15,000 a month. And it stayed that way from like after COVID. So you're talking like 2021 or whatever, all the way up until pretty much this year, right around December of last year. So Profit margins for me have always been on the slim side. I don't do more than say 20%. A lot of times I might be walking with like 14, 15%, you know. And you got to understand, I'm in the food industry. Margins are very slim in food. And so, but one thing I like about food is it's non-negotiable. There's really no ebb and flow. It just constantly, any of the working class hustlers, especially those in the private group, can tell you I don't have the ebb and flow. I'm steady or I'm rising, and that's all there is to it. And the more work I put in, the more I get out. I embrace work, and you're right. Profit is very important up until a point. I don't talk much about this, but profit in business is important up until a point. If you're trying to make money through your business so that you can pull money out of your business, that's one way to do it. Just remember, if you want to make money in the business and pull money out of the business, then you're going to pay tax on that. Pull out 10,000 and hopefully you'll keep 7. You got to start thinking, and I'm not going to get into that, but I'm going to put that thought in your mind. If you ever want to get somewhere like Elon Musk, somewhere like, you know, Jeff Bezos, you got to start thinking like a true business person. But that, I digress on that. But that's a good question, and I'm never going to cap on that. So I'm telling you, I do a lot of work, and I don't see the crazy profits that you see these people talking about. That's why you really don't see me talking a whole lot of lifestyle and all that garbage. I'm only going to talk what I'm living. But let's get back into the software. So yeah, we talked about shipping using the Amazon app. We talked about shipping easy. We talked about VQ. And we also talked about, pretty much what it looks like. In most of these softwares, it's going to be about the same. And you just sort of pick the the courier that you want. But again, you got to figure out how to get the package to the courier. Now, when you get to my level, I have a regular UPS daily pickup. Most of my packages go regular mail. You don't have to pay for pickup. They're coming anyway. Trust me, when as your business grows, they'll bring what you need. If you got a regular mailman that's going door to door, pushing a cart with a satchel, eventually he's going to figure out he got to go around the corner, get the truck, and bring it. And if you need 2 trucks, yesterday, a guy showed up, picked up what he could pick up, and said, "Hey, don't worry, I got another truck coming." Dude, once you get to a certain level, they know. They know. I used to go through all kinds of things. Oh my God, if there was a substitute, my account, I'm the biggest shipper in my town. Now I'm in a small town, but when you're putting out, 50 packages a day on average, they know. They understand. And so when they get a new guy, they tell them right off the bat, hey, when you go to La Machine, you better come correct. If there's a problem, call us. We already got backup. La Machine, we know he needs things. Okay? He needs things. Notice, if you can't supply, picture him gone. Make this a moment for Kodak. Bye. You understand? But yeah, other than that, let me see. Did we have any other questions? How do you minimize shipping costs and returns on orders? Great question. So, the way you minimize shipping cost is you have to start thinking. Now, some of you guys, you're just not going to be aggressive enough. Some of you just going to have to accept the shipping where it is. In other words, from the gate, you're gonna want to concentrate on products that are light by nature, okay? That have very small dimensions by nature. because you're not going to be aggressive enough. I'll tell you right now, Queen Goddess. One of the ways that I save on shipping. Let me show you. So let's say I was shipping this. What is this? This is a thermal. You can't see it because of the. This is a thermal laminator. See, what I would do is just throw the label on the box and out the door. That'll save shipping. But some sellers they can't deal with that because they're thinking, well, what's everybody gonna say? What's it gonna look like going through the postal system or UPS looking like that? What's the customer gonna say when he gets it? I got a question for you. If you order online enough, you've received something like this. Something showed up at your door. It wasn't in no box or nothing. Label was just on it. That's one way, but I'm not saying that you should do that because you got to know what your tolerance level is. I will tell you this: the more creative, the more aggressive you get, the more money you're going to make. Another thing is this: the dimensions on something like this, a box this size, is going to be bad. Some people think, okay, I'm not dealing with it. I think, can I change the dimensions of that box? That might take some work. I like work because most other people don't. I just created a degree of separation. The minute I started looking, the minute I started thinking, and the minute I started looking for difficult instead of looking for easy, automatically, I'm in a whole nother class. Another thing you can do to minimize shipping is you know, pick the version, pick the shipping. Here, let me pick a actual product that needs to be shipped, and let's see. Let me give you an example of what I would do. Let me pick something here, and I'm going to tell you another thing. Like when you merchant fulfilled, you got to understand your location, where you are geographically located, is going to make a difference because I'm on the East Coast. And if you're on the East Coast, you're going to get a lot of orders that are going out west. You got to be able to handle that. If you're central, you good to go. That is one of the best places to be. But the problem is when you get into the Midwest, the supply chain for what you're trying to sell could be a challenge. So all right, well, I'll show you this example and then we'll just go from there. So watch this. So this is, you can see this is 15 ounces. So this is under a pound. That's another great thing. If you can keep your items under a pound, that's going to be good. Now, if we look at all the options that we could do, the cheapest one for me is going to be Ground Advantage. But there are going to be times where the cheapest will be Ground Saver. Some people will tell you do not use Ground Saver. That is a service where you hand it off to Brown, to UPS. And then at some point down the line, Brown hands it off to the regular mail. And some people will tell you to stay away from that because they had bad experiences. And I'm going to tell you, let's see what kind of experience you have because you're trying to minimize shipping costs. So you're going to have to explore the cheapest options and see how they work for you. And yeah. And I don't know, Queen Goddess, are you doing merchant fulfilled? Because the other thing I was going to say is don't forget, you might be shipping a particular product. And you know what you might do? Text me and let me weigh in on it. I've done that for people. It'd be my pleasure. See, the thing about it, Queen Goddess, when you're messing with La Machine, you're never alone. You're never alone. So you ain't got to be worried about nothing. I'm right here. Karen says another way to save on shipping is to know the USPS 4-ounce shipping increments. Try to keep weights below a pound or 2 pounds when possible. Ship in poly bags when feasible, absolutely. And Karen will tell you about using Pirate Ship. I didn't mention Pirate Ship because I don't use them. But you know what? Watch this. We're going to go Pirate Ship. And I actually do have an account. I just haven't used it. But you can do Pirate Ship. And depending on, there's tips and tricks with that as well. I think one of the things, I don't know, guys, you got to tell me if it has changed. But if you can get anything in a poly mail, you get a better rate depending. And that means, look at this box right here. See this box with a bird is on it? That means if you threw that box inside of a poly mailer, all of a sudden, you've got that stipulation working for you. I don't know if that has changed, but check into Pirate Ship. It was once very popular. And I know there are people that still use it. So keep that in mind as well. And I promised you guys, if you stayed to the end, I would actually share with you how you can get free boxes. Think about this, guys, and I need to be taking advantage of this as well. I'm not doing it, and I need to, because if I think about me, if I was to get free boxes, and I'm just using this as a hypothetical, it's probably not going to happen. But if I ship 1,000 packages in a month, which I'm doing, heck, the average box probably costs me around $1 on the higher side because I order in bulk. But heck, that's $1,000. $1,000 saved would make a difference in my life. Okay, what if I only got half of my boxes for free? $500 would make a difference. What if I only saved $200? I could use $200. Could you? You see what I'm saying? So here's what I do. And you guys have seen it in my videos. I literally go to the recycle place. This is the one that I go to, right? Chambersburg waste paper. Okay? Or is it Cumberland? Either way, you guys have seen me in videos throwing away the boxes because I got to get rid of the boxes. And while I'm there, they just got dumpsters that people have dropped off boxes. They're not breaking these boxes down. These are brand new boxes that look pristine, got the Amazon logo already on it, got the Walmart logo already on it, got the eBay, priority box already on it. And that, if you go to your local recycle place, it's got to be a place that allows people to just throw their boxes away 24/7. Okay. And you'll be able to get free boxes. So that is one way to do it. It's Chambersburg waste paper. But here's one, guys. Listen to what I'm about to say. Some of y'all doing this, but you could do this at a whole nother level. Check this out. And I need to be doing this. I need to be doing this myself. What I need to do is literally get some door hangers made or just go knock door to door, just right on my block. One block is all you need. Go to your neighbors and say, hey, look, everybody's getting deliveries. Everybody's getting rid of all these boxes. I would really appreciate it. It would really help. And it would also help the environment if you just collect your boxes and I'll pick them up. Now, in order to do this, that means I got to come and collect all his boxes. I can't be selective. But I gotta go to Chambersburg Waste Paper anyway. See, this is how you build systems around what you're doing. As you grow, it's gonna happen. You're gonna develop systems. I'm not going out of my way. I'm going up and down my street anyway. And if it's gonna save me some money, but I'm telling you, I gotta try this actually, just so that I can come back and report to you how it went. But imagine all your neighbors. You see it every day. FedEx trucks coming, UPS trucks coming, Amazon little vans coming, regular mail coming. People are getting these boxes and they're just throwing them away. You could be going by once a week or whatever it is and picking up free boxes. Okay. So that's two ways, two ideas for you to get free boxes, uh, get your family to collect them. But there are boxes everywhere. Just keep your eyes open. Okay, guys, I'll take any more questions before we wrap. I hope you guys got some value. Again, everybody doesn't need to know this, but I'm gonna close by saying this, and I'm checking for questions if anybody has any. I'm gonna close by saying Merchant Fulfilled has literally changed the game for me. I sell mostly snack foods. If you check your snack food listings, most of us are doing Merchant Fulfilled because you can't. We have expiration dates to deal with. We ain't got time for all this logistic junk where you're shipping the shipment in FBA, you're waiting on them to receive it, you're waiting on them to inventory it, you're waiting on them to distribute it throughout their system. I don't have time for that. Then after they spend 3-4 weeks, then they look at you and say, well, this expiration date is too tight. You know what? I ain't got time for that. By the time they do all that, I done already made my money. I'm serious when I tell you this. I done already made my money and I'm gone. I'm on to the next thing. They ain't even inventory yet. You see what I'm saying? If you have been doing this business for any, real period of time, then I know where you're coming from. If you've been doing this business for an extended period, I'm talking 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, and yet your sales seem to be stagnant, they're not moving. I know how you feel. I've been there. I got the receipts right on this channel. I had to do something different. Now you got to make up your mind. Do you want to build the business up to 30,000 a month or not? If you already there, cool. You getting it. But if you're not, I know what you're talking about. And it's only been a, a few months for me. This is not something, when you start talking to me about doing in excess of $30,000, we're not talking a long time. We're talking this year. And we're only in the fourth month. So you better talk to me now while it's fresh in my mind, while I'm still, very cognizant of what's happening. When I tell you, hey, you got a question, if you need some help, text me. Reach out and do it. This is the time, guys, because I'm telling you, I'm not gonna, oh my God. I'm only gonna go up from here. I'm not gonna go down. Think about how much bandwidth it's taking me to do this as it is. And I want to double that because I want to get to 1 million in sales a year. How many phone calls do you think I'm going to be able to take then? Do you think I'm still going to be able to come out here every single day or every day that I can? How many of those are we going to have? Take advantage while I'm here. All right, guys, looks like there are no more questions. So I'm going to get going here. Probably will be out here tomorrow. I want to do a video talking about how much revenue I had last month between my trucking job because I'm a full-time trucker and my online business, which includes Walmart as well. That might be interesting. So I'll probably do that. You may not be interested in that, but that's up to you if you want to join me. And other than that, happy Easter to everyone. La Machine, I'm out.